Kesini dulu atau gazebo dulu?
Oh, mau nyoba dulu. Sambil lewat aja nih. Ini ada banyak bagus nih networknya.
I am here in central Kalimantan, and this lush greenery you see behind me extends more than 150,000 hectares, making it more than twice the size of Singapore. Looking at this landscape, it is hard to picture it was once a logging concession more than 10 years ago. But today, thanks to the foresight of one man, this peatland has been restored to an almost pristine state, benefiting surrounding villages, wildlife such as orangutans, and also the global climate. To find out more, I speak with the accidental environmentalist behind it all, Indonesian businessman Darsano Hartono.
So PT Rimba Makmur Utama was founded in the year 2007. The idea is we want to save the last remaining peatland forest in Indonesia and make it into a good business model where it will give profit for the companies, will give benefit to the communities, and also save the environmental issue that we have. So that's a long endeavor. We started 12 years ago, and we realized that by doing all these things, we are qualified to have a we are qualified to issue the carbon offset or credit that we have. And we are the largest carbon credit project from forestry, issuing on average about 7 million tons of credit every year. But I think if you look at how the world is going right now, if you want to basically lower down 1.5 degrees Celsius that we see, we really need nature to be intact, whatever existing nature to be intact, and also do a lot of reforestation and as well as restoration. So one thing about peatland forest, it stored a lot of carbon. So if we are not protecting and conserving whatever it is, this will create a lot of emission. I think that's the fact is we can get qualified for those credits. And you can see that peatland have a lot of real effect. You can tell when you drain peatland, it become dry, it caught fire, and then this haze that you see in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, year after year, will always continue once we start opening. So this Katingan Mentaya project is one of the last remaining intact forests available in Indonesia, and I think it's worth saving because like it or not, it's these peatland are meant to be conserved. There's a lot of peatland has been converted into palm oil and it hasn't succeeded. So I think that's why we want to do this from the beginning in year 2007, and we finally succeed. We finally start making money starting last year. So I think there is a real business case now for peatland restoration and conservation.
A peatland is a soil which is formed by forest growing in waterlogged soils, in which basically the tree, through leaf fall and through decay, the trees gradually form a peat layer, which is basically a layer of organic material which consists of forest debris. And that process, like we are standing here now in a nearly pristine peat forest, that process has been going on for thousands of years, in this case about 10 to 13,000 years, and that then forms very deep layers of organic matter, and which can be up to 4 to 5 meters deep, and which are covered by water. Because they're covered by water, they don't decompose, because there is no oxygen, because if there is no oxygen, nothing can rot if there is no oxygen, so they don't decompose. So effectively the carbon gets stored under the water, and it makes these peat soils, and if you talk on tropical peat, it's about 900 million tons of carbon are stored basically under a water safe. If that peat through drainage and fires gets up in the air, it can dramatically accelerate the process of global warming. And by restoring peat and by keeping peat in pristine situations, it's like what you see here, the process of tree growth and leaf fall continues. So there continues to be carbon stored in the peat, and that process can then go on. And by doing so, peat basically store peat, which avoid that we will have to face as humanity what's called a climate crisis, while at the same time it's a nature-based solution by capturing carbon out of the air and storing it in the soil.